Today, I'm going to share with you some information that you don't really need to know to sell or buy a house, but it's definitely something that people ask, and it's just good information to know. My name is Megan Coon with Powerhouse Real Estate, and today we're going to talk about title and how your money is all handled at the end of the transaction. So the first thing is a title company. They are part of our team when you go in to sell or buy a home. It's required in Utah that you have title insurance when you're selling a home. And when you're buying a home, the lender will require that you have your own title policy. What this is it basically clears the home title from any liens or hangups that would prevent you from being the sole owner of the property. So let's say the seller hired a handyman and never paid him, and the handyman filed a lien against the property. Well, if you were to purchase without title insurance and that was never discovered, then that handyman could then go after you as the new owner because he put a lien on the property. The title company will clear any liens that there are on the property before it's sold and then ensure that they've done their job. And so this will keep you safe as you're purchasing a home to make sure that you are the sole owner. It also keeps you safe as you're selling your home so that you don't have anything come up later as far as lawsuits from buyers that you sold a home with a lien on the property. You have the option to purchase whatever title company you want. Your agent should recommend one or two or three to you that they love to work with and that do a good job, but you can use whoever you'd like. This isn't something that people know a lot about, so chances are you probably don't even know a title company. And so you can definitely lean on your agent for some guidance in that regard, but you do have the option. An agent cannot force you to use their title company that they partner with. So keep that in mind. Now, let's talk about how your money's all handled at the end. This is actually done through the title company. So the title company does all of their title searches, the insurance, they'll send you the PR that has all those clearances. And then they will send all of the closing disclosures, which point out all of the money and how it's being handled, who's getting what, and we as agents make sure that that matches what we have agreed upon. So if you agreed to pay for the buyer's closing costs and a certain amount, that will be on those closing statements, and we'll make sure that they're there before we get to closing. Now, the title companies also work together. So the buyer has their own title company, the seller has their title company, and those title companies have to check each other's work to make sure that they match before we get to closing. So that as all of the documents are signed, they match exactly and nobody's confused as far as who's paying what or where the numbers are at. So this just protects you and makes sure that at the end of the day, what we agreed upon is what happens and that everything and everyone is taken care of. You will sign the closing documents with the title company. So you will go to the title office in most cases and sign at their office. They'll have the packet all ready for you. A seller packet is usually pretty small. It only takes a few minutes. The buyer packet is usually much bigger because they also will have all of the loan documents and the lender documents that they're requiring for you to sign as part of it as well. So the buyer side does take a little bit longer, but you'll sit down with the title rep, you'll sign all of the documents, they'll walk you through and explain those documents in detail, as much detail as you'd like, and then they'll give you a copy of all of those documents as you leave. Once you've signed the documents and once the other party has signed their documents, then the title companies again will talk together. The buyer will wire their fees to the title company as well as the lender will wire the full fees to the title company as well. So the buyer's title company will collect all of the fees. Then they will transfer them to the seller's title company. The seller's title company will then distribute the funds as the contract directs. So they'll distribute the funds to the agents and their commissions and how they'll be paid. They'll also distribute your loan payoff. So they will be in charge of paying off your current loan if you're the seller on the home and making sure that it's clear. Any outstanding property taxes, HOA fees, anything like that will be paid directly from the title company. So once you receive your funds as the seller, that's what you get to keep. They will only send you what you get to keep. Everything else will be distributed by the title company. This is something that most people don't know and they get really concerned about. Like, how do I pay off my loan? How do I make sure the HOA is taken care of? All of those things. But the title company just takes care of it for you. So that's why they're so important. It's important to make sure that you hire a really good title company that will be on top of it, make sure that there aren't any hangups. And then at the end of the day, the title company is also responsible to record the home in the new buyer's name. And that is when the keys are then transferred. So that's another reason to hire a good one, because I've had title companies before that have actually hung up our closing because they weren't on top of it and didn't do their job in time, and they've delayed our closing by a day. And so that prevents the buyer from being able to move in and the seller from getting their money. And so it's really important that you have someone that's on top of it and that does a great job for you. It's also important that they work well with your agent so that we don't have any hangups along the way and that all the communication is there and taken care of. So if you have any questions about title and how the money is handled at closing, please reach out. I'd love to answer any questions you have. My name is Megan Coon with Powerhouse Real Estate.